I understand Victor Frankenstein. I really do. Because there's this twisted pleasure when you tear down a motorcycle, then stitch it back together in some abominable amalgamation of patchwork parts and pieces. Some new and some body snatched from other machines. Yet I've got enough scraped plastic and metal left over to create 10 pounds of bad modern art. And since posting pictures of this abomination online, the reactions have ranged from awe-inspiring adoration to sheer disgust. People have called it fugly and abortion and said that's the most disgusting KLR I've ever seen. And to them I respond, thank you, because that's how monsters are supposed to look. Yet unlike Frankenstein and his freak, I feel absolutely no remorse about what my creation has turned into. Because while beauty is subjective, function is undeniable. Some have lamented, "You've ruined the KLR and turned it into a road queen." Well, yes I have, sort of. It's true, this is the most comfortable Generation 1 KLR I've ever experienced on the road, but while the new looks are reminiscent of a scrambler, you know I couldn't forget the tractor's off-road roots. Transforming this bike from a highway cruiser to a dirt shredder is as easy as pulling a quick release tab and lifting off the panniers. And it takes about a minute with an Allen wrench to remove both the backrest and windscreen. While wide in the rear, the seat concept seat is stock narrow in the front, so digging your knees into the tank for a solid rip feels as good as ever. See, I've made this KLR into my perfect vision of what the old 650 should be. A comfortable highway monster that eats road miles like a fat kid eats cake while still managing to be far better than stock off-road. The primary drive 16-tooth front sprocket makes cruising at highway speeds a lot easier on the engine, and the Tusk Chub bar, wider, grippier Tusk Billet foot pegs, and slightly longer Tusk Shifter greatly improve ergonomics for a vastly more comfortable adventure. The KLR's stock exhaust, which weighs exactly 1 million tons, had a pretty good sound if it weren't for that undeniable chirp. I wanted something much lighter, but didn't want that unbearable ear-splitting noise for long-range tours. Enter the Lexx Exhaust, tunable for motocross, but with the baffles left in, keeps the bike sounding grunty without drowning out that lovely chug of the KLR 650 single. It may be my favorite motorcycle soundtrack of all time. It sounds like Barry White fathered a child with a surly badger. The next thing to go was the old stock headlight, uselessly dim and perhaps repurposed from a 1980s station wagon. I replaced it with this $25 low-draw 51-watt LED powerhouse with two 18-watt light bars on the side at just $8 each. The lights turn with the bars now, and the bracket was made with a vise, a drill, and a file, all from a $3 aluminum yardstick. The stock KLR seat, while poofier than most dual sports, makes many riders' rear ends resemble primate zoo exhibits. The saddle-like seat concept's commuter and its perfect density foam solves that issue. Combined with the KLR backrest from KLR Dash, it takes long-range comfort to a whole new level. And while the stock KLR rack is alright, these mounting brackets by Tusk and the accompanying hard panniers turn a solid dual sport into a secure, lockable, high-capacity adventure touring semi-truck, all for about $400. Braking on the stock KLR, particularly with a passenger or a moderate load, felt like the brakes were made of bread. The Tusk oversized floating brake rotor solves that issue, but manages to never feel too touchy. In the wind protection department, even aftermarket options for the Gen 1 left much to be desired, but not now. This $50 universal windscreen easily mounts to just about any set of bars. Some have complained that it looks too much like a cruiser now, which is interesting to me because I think that people who are into such a Spartan, utilitarian motorcycle in the first place would be more interested in function than aesthetics. Either way, this thing makes wind noise and fatigue a non-issue. And now Harley riders wave at me, and then do a double take after they pass, after which their heads explode. So while it is now fantastic on the highway, don't forget that among many subtle upgrades, Mr. Duff Factor imbued this machine with unholy suspension sorcery, combined with progressive springs that make this bike far more at home in the Nard. And the rally-inspired LED lights mean that I won't outrun my vision during spirited night rides. Before, I'd always been hesitant to ride hard over large rocks and drops, but now with the AE Motorsports Master Cylinder Guard and low-profile drain plug, and the burly Outback Mototech crash bars and aluminum skid plate that could serve as tank armor, I have no qualms about overlanding whatever I want. That's largely due to the perfectly tuned Agiri suspension, but also to the tires. Smoother than most on the road, grippier than most off-road. It is as if the Kenda big blocks were made with the KLR in mind. So far, they seem to be the perfect compromise between long-lasting road comfort and knobby, earth-clawing, roost-blasting shredding power off-road. But what happens if you should drop the bike? No worries. First of all, it's a used KLR and it costs less than a single Pannier on many premium adventure bikes. Get a spray can, a mallet, and a roll of duct tape, and it's as good as new. Second, with the strong Tusk Chub bars and D-Flex handguards, coupled with the Outback Mototech crash guards and Tusk side racks, the bike is armored from front to back. So even if you do abuse the KLR a little bit, which you should, you won't be stranded with a busted shift lever, hand controls, or expensive radiator damage. So there you have it, my Frankenbike. Part cruiser, part scrambler, part dirt bike, but still undeniably KLR to the core. From the zip-tied plastics all the way to that near-perfect thumper chub. Not perfect on the road, not perfect in the dirt, but certainly, now more than ever, does it all well enough. Hey, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the rebuild. If you missed any of it, you can see every Frankensteinian step I took by clicking the video in the upper right corner. I want to especially thank the primary sponsors of this video: Rocky Mountain ATV MC, Tusk, Lexx, and Primary Drive. And even though they're not paying a dime for this video, my amazing crew of gentle-deucers who back my creations on Patreon. Thanks to them, we've got more bike reviews, makeovers like this, and dual sport goodness on the way. So be sure to subscribe and stay tuned. Thanks again for watching, ladies and gentle-tubers. Much love to all of you, especially the guys in the KLR community who have inspired this build. eveRide out.